Last video, we were in Beaufort, South Carolina for our nephew's boot camp graduation from the Marine Corps at Parris Island. Chris is an old Marine. This is his picture when he was 18 after graduating from boot camp. He was also at Parris Island. Now we are heading about an hour and a half south to Savannah. Chris's mom and her husband traveled down from Charlotte for a couple days to hang out with us. This is gonna be a big train. Look, they got 2 engines.
Yep. 2 engines and
Double stacked. This is gonna be the 5-mile train. So far our experience with Savannah
has been 0
what do you think?
out of 5.
0 out of 5. Alright, but let me explain why. When we arrived at this extended stay, we decided not to stay there. We met up with Chris's mom Meryl and her husband Jesse, and we were following Jesse out of the parking lot to get to the next hotel when a person decided just to run across the street right in front of Jesse as he was turning. So we already have crazy event number 1.
Yep.
Then the highway was shut down, and I'm assuming the reason why they shut down the highway is because of a massive accident that they might have to helicopter people out or what have you.
Oh, fatality probably?
Yeah. So now we're trying to find the workaround because Google Maps wants to keep putting us back onto the highway, not realizing that it's closed. And our workaround, we're now out of the train tracks, stuck watching the train. Piper's just chilling back there, feeling good. She's okay till dinner time, right?
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Alright, let's get back to the train because it's still going. We ended up stopped as 3 trains passed by. Then we were stuck in construction, so what was supposed to be a 1.5-hour drive turned into 4 hours. But we made it safely. We decided to go for an extended walk, maybe do some leg exercises and work out a bit. We're outside the hotel. We're right on a lake. It's a nice little sign there. I don't know if we can pick it up from this distance, and I don't want to get too close because on this lake, I don't know if you would call it a lake, swamp, it says, "Beware of wildlife," and a picture of an alligator. So we won't go that far. Chris's mom joined us the next day to explore Savannah by taking the hop-on, hop-off Old Towne Trolley tour. We met the trolley at the Savannah Visitor Center. This is a nice way to learn about the history of a city if you only have one day to explore. The trolley drivers explain the historical markers, buildings, and architecture. They also point out locations that were filmed in movies and highlight other facts of Savannah's history. There are frequent stops along the route in which you can get off, walk around, then wait for the next trolley to continue on exploring the city.
General James Edward Oglethorpe created the colony of Georgia. Oglethorpe, along with 20 other trustees, handpicked honest, hard-working people that wanted to start a new way of life. 114 of them in total sailed on the ship Pan. They landed in February of 1733 on what was then called Yamacraw Bluff, is now present-day Savannah. The reason it was called Yamacraw Bluff is because there are people here already. That was the Yamacraw tribe.
This building with the red doors is the first African Baptist church, started in 1777. It was used as part of the Underground Railroad. Founder James Oglethorpe devised the city's layout plan for Savannah to be a ward with a square and 8 surrounding blocks. The layout was then repeated. In the 1730s, the English and Spanish were enemies fighting over land in the Americas. King George wanted to protect his colony of South Carolina from the Spanish in Florida. Therefore, the colony of Georgia was settled as a military buffer zone. Part of Mr. Oglethorpe's ideal utopia for the new English colony was a prohibition for Catholics. This was because the Spanish were Catholic and the English didn't want to risk colonists fighting against them in Savannah. In 1864, General Sherman burned and destroyed most of the Confederate South on his march to the sea to end the Civil War. He arrived in Savannah on December 21, 1864, but felt inspired by the city's beauty and decided to preserve it. He presented it to President Abraham Lincoln as a Christmas present.
Over to my right, you'll see the St. John the Baptist Cathedral. Now, folks, it took them 23 years to build this cathedral, folks. Its cross stations and stained glass windows are from Austria. It will be closed until about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
The Savannah Theater opened its doors in 1818. In 1923, it became one of the first theaters to have air conditioning. Actually, it installed air conditioning before the White House did. Stones on this street are called ballast stones. The stones were placed in the bellies of the ships in England so the ship could stay afloat while crossing the ocean. Once arrived at Savannah, the crew would throw the stones into the river and fill the ship with merchandise like cotton and rice, then return back to England.
We're in downtown Savannah, eating lunch at the shrimp factory. Okay. I ordered a crab cake sandwich. You ordered
Shrimp. Peeled shrimp.
Peeled shrimp. Chicken
Oh, chicken quesadilla at a shrimp
We
place.
didn't have a shrimp quesadilla? No shrimp quesadilla at the shrimp factory? Okay.
Chicken. It was the only thing on the menu with chicken.
Yeah.
Local fishermen used to sell the fresh catches at the River Street Market. Today, the marketplace is 4 blocks long and sells 100% Georgian-made products. The music director of the Unitarian Universalist Church composed Jingle Bells in 1857. Originally, it was not intended to be a Christmas song. We had a great tour of the city and enjoyed our day. However, the next morning we weren't feeling too great and had to cancel plans.
Last night we decided to stay around the hotel and we went to dinner at Olive Garden. We haven't been there since before the pandemic.
Right.
So 2-3 years.
Yep.
Not at all what I remember. It was horrible, incredibly too salty. We only ate one of our appetizers. We tasted our food and we were splitting a meal. We ended up not eating it at all. So this morning when I woke up, I had horrible stomach issues. And you had some also, just you didn't have as much pain. You had the other parts of the stomach issues. So we decided to cancel our history walking tour of Savannah. And we're just kind of taking it easy and recovering, popping lots of Tums. It's now in the afternoon. We're starting to feel a little better. We're going to go find some place that we can eat some soup. And then Chris was able to book a history food pub walking tour tomorrow. It's 3 hours, so we aren't missing out on experiencing more of Savannah. And little Piper is loving that we're here with her, and that she has her people parents with her. So we'll probably take her for a super long walk later this afternoon, since she's been cooped up in the hotel while we've been doing our excursions. So we're doing our culinary food bar tavern history walk. It starts at 12. We're meeting at this place called Tandy's Tavern.
The meeting place of the tour was also the first stop. We sampled delicious shrimp and bacon grits while our guide provided the history of the pub. It was a gathering place for the Sons of Liberty. However, this spot is not the original location. Then we walked over to stop number 2, Dub's Pub. The tour leader pointed out the neat old bricks inlaid in the architecture, and the ceiling is designed like a 1700s shipping vessel. We enjoyed soft pretzels and pitas with 2 types of beer and palmetto cheese dips while our guide explained why the English settled Georgia. Next we walked to River Street. The guide pointed out landmarks such as Old English ports and cotton exchange warehouses. He also discussed the history of the port. Then we walked through Johnson Square and learned the difference between a park and a square. The tour guide talked about this monument in honor of Nathaniel Greene, a Revolutionary War hero. After this, we walked over to a brick fire pizza joint for samples, but due to this being a food and pub tour, we forgot to record. However, the following stop was a peach cobbler factory. It smelled so good in here. Our next destination was Namaste Savannah. We sampled Indian chicken masala with butter coconut rice. We also enjoyed a basil cucumber spritzer. I think this was my favorite cocktail of the day. Our last stop was PS Tavern. The PS stands for Pickle Shots. Here we learned the establishment survived Savannah's fire of 1821 because it was made of brick and mortar instead of wood. Of course, back then it wasn't PS Tavern. It was actually a storage house. Here we tasted a barbecue sandwich with pickled onions on a potato bun. It was good, but true to its name, the tavern is famous for its pickled infused vodka shots with jalapeno juice. I love pickles, and I couldn't resist ordering one, and it was delicious. Well, that's wrapped up our time in Savannah. Our next place to explore on our way back home will be San Antonio, Texas. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. See you in the next video.